where adulting unfolds, where adulting...
What? Oh shit! This looks weird. Oh well, so that's gonna be. What's going on, YouTube? This is No New Friends After Dark, the podcast. Man, it's not a podcast. The
It's not a podcast anymore?
No, it is, but it isn't because there's a video as well.
You are not live, by the way. The screen is still up.
Yeah, no, you're just behind.
There you go. There you go.
We're just delayed. 3.
Wow, there's a lot of stream delay. Jeez, wow.
Yeah, Scott didn't count me on. That's why I messed up.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to No New Friends After Dark, the vlogcast. Oh gosh, it sounds even worse.
Wow.
The vodcast where I impersonate a podcast host. Alongside me in virtual studio is emotional support K Nick, Scott, Darren, and a very, very special guest to me, and soon to the interwebs, even more so than he already is. Dane for Big Beautiful Dudes. Dane, how the hell?
Oh,
are you
I'm
doing?
the special. Oh, I was really excited because I thought you were gonna have a.
You thought you were like
cool
bringing
guest.
Ronnie on or something?
surprise
Yeah,
appearance.
I was like, oh wow, or who do we get? I feel like you are probably really disappointed as
We
I
are.
am.
We booked O.J. Simpson, but he couldn't make it.
Oh yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
So,
no, I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, guys.
Dane, I should be taking notes from you on how to get special and important guests because not only did you get one, what was that when LeBron went to the Miami Heat? Not one, not
Not
two,
one, not two,
not three, not four. That's you with this project that you're working on. So I'm not going to say what it
Yeah.
is. I'm going to let you tell the world what it is. Dane, you got something very special coming out at the end of this month.
May 24th. Yeah.
Tell us. I was going to say tell us a little bit about this. Tell us a lot bit about this.
So I can actually tell you guys more than the last time I was, because I announced this on
did.
the regular show.
Yep.
Right?
I love that Dane thinks that
So-
we're bigger than we are, but I'll take it. I'll take it. So
Hey, I was like,
announcing
I
to the
need-
tens of people.
No, I was like, I
Tens of
needed.
people.
Well, I needed.
Yes.
I wanted to do it on something other than my own platform because that's kind of lame. But
He's like, you're the only people I know of the podcast, all right?
yeah, you're the only people. You're the only
Once you
people
took
that
my
I know.
call.
The other people who I know that have a podcast have like 2 people listening, and I'm one of them. So. I won't name names, but
This
I think
is
know
much
which
bigger
one.
than that.
Oh yeah, I know. I wasn't thinking about Diz's, and I wasn't thinking about Nerd Archive. But anyway, this project, Beyond the Glass, the WDW animation building.
If we
I've been
listen, if we
working on this for
combined the
months.
listeners of No New Friends, Nerd Archive, and Remy's Roundtable, you may get 5 subscribers.
I already
I
subscribed.
have
so
5 confirmed views. For this video, so. No, I mean, so this is a perfect day actually to be talking about this because it
that's right.
It opened 35 years ago today. So
Scott
the
bought a
magic of
lounge
Disney
fly
animation.
to commemorate that.
Yes, he
Sure
did.
did.
Yeah, he got divorced today
did.
because of that. So the magic of Disney animation, as it had like 2 lives to it. One was with the Mushu show and the Animation Academy, where you learn to draw animation characters or Disney characters. And then the other life that it had in 1989, when it originally opened, was a working studio, Walt Disney Feature Animation Florida studio, that actually made Disney films. Like, some of the smaller ones were like Roger Rabbit in '89 when it first opened. The Rescuers Down Under. They did ink and paint for Little Mermaid, but that was already basically done by the time the studio opened. The Trail Mix-Up, Roller Coaster Rabbit, the Roger Rabbit shorts. And then they started getting like chunks, like scenes. They would get scenes or songs, certain segments of The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Pocahontas. And then when they started expanding more, eventually they moved into a completely brand new building, massive building. It's still there actually, behind what is now Launch Bay in Animation Courtyard. And then they worked on basically all of Mulan, all of Lilo and Stitch, and all of Brother Bear up until it closed in 2004. And pretty much everyone was let go who worked there. So this thing has not only
Chris,
a
let
f-
go is something that happens when you have a job and they don't need you anymore, so they let
That's
you
true.
go.
It's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so this thing has a community of people that work there who are still very close. These people, when the thing opened, it only had like 70 workers. So these people felt very close to who they were all working for. When you're working for a small company for a large amount of time, and it's at least 10 years that these people were working together, you start to feel close, obviously. So people feel very close to each other, and it's a very important topic to a lot of people. So it was very easy to get people involved in this thing, and I knew I needed to tell the story, because there's nothing that tells this story. If you
Really?
look up Magic of Disney Animation on YouTube, there's one video that covers the history.
It's probably your trailer.
And yeah, it's the trailer, the 2 trailers that I have, but the one that I'm thinking of is there was one, I think the channel was called like Antimat or something like that. And it's a good video, but there needed to be more.
That's pretty
So
interesting.
there was a book that was released like a year ago, and I'm still
Really?
That's not enough. Like there should be a not a lot of people read. they don't have the attention span to read. So I'm like a visual
Ryan,
media
reading is
sort
something
of,
that we do.
Yeah,
when
Ryan
our
doesn't
eyes
know what
follow
reading
words.
is at all. Ryan doesn't know what reading is at all. But yeah, I mean, I'm like, there needs to be a visual element, and it would be really cool. So I put it down. First, I put it down in my video ideas, and then I was like, it would be really cool to get a couple people talking about this. And then it just grew. Because once I
Oh, wow.
got people involved, it just grew and grew and grew and grew. They have a Facebook group, right? Do not look up the Facebook group. They will not accept you. It's for employees only.
Are you in there?
And no, they won't even allow me in there. So it's for employees only. And once I started this process of getting people involved to do interviews, it spread through there that I was doing this, and it was very easy to get.
Oh, wow. So this started off. So okay, I had a question, but you might not even have an answer to it, because this started out as a video idea, turned into the documentary. So you were never set out to make a documentary. Did you?
I set out to do a massive video sometime this year. That was my goal, because every
Right.
couple months I like to make a big video. And my original thought, I was going to do a lot. I was actually, that big video was going to be a darker topic.
I think we talked
It
about
was
this
going to
off
be,
air.
yeah, it was going to be
Like Pearl Harbor?
originally.
Similar.
No, originally it was going to be about the monorail crash.
Oh.
In 2009, and I was gonna do that kind of topic and then get people talking about that.
But didn't
But
you?
that
I-
never got off the ground.
Was that the year you were born?
No, no, it was not.
No, it was. He was born in 2010.
Ah.
Dean,
Yeah, you're
can
right.
you talk about why you didn't do that one? Because I think you told me at one point why you didn't do that one. Can you talk about that or not?
I can talk a little bit about it. I can't talk about everything necessarily, but the only way I was going to make that video is if I have the family's involvement, because it's such a obviously touchy subject, because there was a person that passed away on that. It was the monorail captain. So I was like, I need to get the mother of this monorail captain involved some way, somehow. And if I don't get that involvement, I'm not making it. Just flat out. So I reached out to her, and it never got off the ground.
Scott, can you imagine having that much respect? I can't.
No, I can't.
Yeah, it's like
Scott
that's like
doesn't understand it.
it's
No,
like
it-
wow. Respect
I
to me,
always
it's
say
just
this,
an
that,
Aretha
you know,
Franklin song.
For a 12-year-old, Dane is incredibly respectful, incredibly talented, and I'm proud of him. I mean, imagine what all he's going to accomplish once he leaves middle school. Right? It'll be amazing.
So you want this big video turned into a documentary, but while you were workshopping ideas for this big video, did you have any other topics that you wanted to do besides the monorail, like you just said? Were there any other contenders that were even close, or even just a thought?
Yeah, he
the
wanted you to
monorail-
talk about the 5-year-old that died on Mission Space.
Oh.
No, the monorail was one. This idea of the doing something on the studio, because originally it was just like, okay, I want to do a video on this. I don't know like in what way.
Yeah.
I came up with the idea. This idea has been planning in my head for like a year. Because I got the book in March of 2023, read it, and I was like, there's a story here. I would want to do something on this. And then, so doing research up until October of 2023, when I started reaching out to people finally. That kind of process of just like, okay, this is something I want to make. But other than the monorail, there was one, because like I didn't want to do it on just a throwaway topic. It had to be one that had like a large, passionate either fan base or community surrounding it.
Makes sense.
So the thought of like Wonders of Life came to mind. I was like, that could be something. There's already a Horizons documentary kind of, so I was like, I don't really want to do that, but that came to mind. there was one idea about doing one on Patrick Spikes, but I felt like that would be a little bit of a difficult one to do.
Who was he?
I know. I'm like, who?
He's the guy that would sneak backstage. He had the Twitter account Backdoor Disney, who got banned from Disney multiple times.
That's kind of
So I was like, that's kind of, yeah, it's a cool topic, but I was like, that would be difficult to do.
So you were going for this whole time. You're going for something either jarring or very, or something that was really untouched by other content creators, which is kind of risky because there's no blueprint. So now you are going to be the blueprint for the documentary on this specific subject, which is insane. It's awesome. Before we go on more about this, Darren or Nick or even Scott, have you? Scott, you did, but more so Darren and Nick, have you ever toured this specific animation building during the Backlot tour?
Oh, it was, yes, and it was part of. It was its own tour at one point. Like,
It was
wasn't
not.
even
Yeah, it wasn't technically part of the Backlot tour. It was right beside the former entrance of the Backlot tour.
I remember seeing it during. I thought it was during the Backlot tour. They were like, "Hey," and matter of fact.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is in the same building as the Backlot tour.
Right.
Entrance, because what is now Launch Bay, if you go into the entrance, you turn right to go. Yeah, you turn right to go into the little like show that they have. Like, the thing that it's a little film. But if you turn left, that was where the tram used to pull up and take guests. So it was basically in the same building.
Well, who are you? Do you even know a lot about this?
No, I don't know anything about it.
So Scott, you remember it. So do you remember what movie, what project they were working on when you were there?
I don't. It was so long ago.
Yeah,
I mean, 89. I was there opening year, 89, 90. So
damn.
89 they were working on Little Mermaid / Roller Coaster
cool.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Darren or Nick, have you ever seen this building or even know about this building?
I barely remember Backlot.
I know about the building. I don't think I ever. So I didn't. My dad will say I went to Disney every year of my life until I was what,
Correct.
5 or whatnot. I didn't really get into going to Disney until about 5 years ago, like my adult life.
Your dad ruined it for you. I get that.
Things. Yeah, correct. He ruined it for me again, but we won't get into that. But unfortunately, I don't think it was ever been running, or it hasn't been in use since I started going. So I don't have any memories of it. I know where it is. I've been in that area before.
Right. I hope
You probably went to the 2004 version. With the Mushu show and stuff like that, I'm sure.
Probably.
I hope this isn't a false memory, and Dane, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember seeing people drawing pictures for Atlantis.
Yeah, they would have been working on Atlantis and the tour section of it. Yeah.
Then that's what I have seen. That's what I remember seeing. I remember it vividly for some reason, and I remember because
when they moved to the expansion building, they still had the tour. But there wasn't a lot going on because everyone at the time of Atlantis, that was 99, 2000s, that they were making that. It came out in 2001. At that time in the massive building, they were working on Lilo and Stitch. So in the massive building, they were exclusively working on a full feature that they were making exclusively in Florida. But during the tour segment, they were working a little bit on Atlantis and then a lot of Lilo and Stitch, obviously. But yeah, they just were kind of they still wanted the tour to happen, but it wasn't a main priority. Right. They had that massive building at the time.
So you interviewed a ton of people that worked there, a ton of people that people would even know. If you could have, if I want you to rank the interviews.
No,
I'm
not ranking
No, not rank them based on substance. Ranked on how attractive the person was that you interviewed.
Oh, even better.
Okay,
I want it to be tasteful, yeah.
I can't. I
I'm
don't
just
think I
messing with you,
can't. I
Dave.
can't.
No,
do this
but
either.
what-
I was gonna say, I don't know these people. I was about to, but I was like, I don't know this person
No,
close enough that I
no,
can do
absolutely
that.
not. Just a joke. But what I did want to talk about with the people that you interviewed, who was the okay, so you interviewed a lot of important people having to do with this. Some were important in as far as the Walt Disney Company as a whole, right?
Yeah.
And some were just very integral to this building itself and the studio. What was your favorite interview that you conducted? And
All
like,
of them, but
How many interviews did you do?
there's 16 people in the cast, so I did 16 interviews. Because I used at least everything from not everything, but I used at least one thing from every interview that I did in this thing. My favorite, I honestly can't even say a favorite. They were all great interviews. It was really, it was an honor. I'll say the
Sure.
most, the two that come to mind that were the most, I mean, there were so many that were an honor to do. Certainly Bob Weiss.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously,
that's
if you get to talk to
insane.
that.
For me, that's got to be the coolest
Yeah,
one because
it's
for me, that's the
insane.
one that's the person that I know the most.
Yeah.
That you interviewed was Bob.
Yeah,
Weiss.
that one, when he got confirmed, that's when it got real. That's when I, and several others who are working on this.
And for
with
those of
me.
you who don't know, Bob Weiss is he was the head of Imagineering up until not too long ago.
You couldn't even remember
Yeah,
his name last week.
20. Yeah, and then he also worked on two little parks. He just created two little parks that you may know of called MGM Studios and Shanghai Disney. But
Smaller ones, yeah.
yeah, just I don't know if anyone's ever been there at all, but no, but that was certainly an honor. I mean, this guy is getting inducted into literally the Disney legend inductee this year. Mark Henn was certainly an
That's
honor to
cool.
be able to talk to him. I mean, when you get to talk to a guy that like Jasmine is based on the design of Jasmine is based on the look of his sisters. So like you can't talk to many people that literally design as such an iconic character like that.
A little
Max
sexy to be
Howard.
modeling after your sister. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but I mean, getting to talk to Max Howard, such a nice guy. That was the first interview that I did. He was the head of the studio from '89 to '95. So he was an executive. That was a great honor.
Were there any interviews you walked away
There were
from and
a
be like,
couple.
man, that sucked? And don't say any names. If there's an answer to this,
There
this
was
is yes.
one. There was one that I felt when I was doing it that was like, I don't know how much of this I'm gonna use
Yeah.
because it was like I don't know how well this is going down right now. But then watching it back, and then by the end of the interview, it was going a lot better. And then I watched it back, and I was like, this is not as bad as I thought, because I'm really critical on myself
Sure.
sometimes.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So during doing it, during the interview, I was like, this might not be usable a lot, but no, none of them were bad at all.
That's great because, we walk away from episodes sometimes being like, that wasn't great, and then we listen to it, it's like, oh, that was great. So
Yeah.
there's always
a lot
stuff.
better
There's
than
always stuff you use, especially in your type of format. Real quick. So Sydney Magical Momming asked a pretty important question actually. Will this video be appropriate for kids? Because I think my son would love it.
Yes, except one. How old is the kid?
Wait,
I mean,
what? Are you
it's-
serious? This is PG-13, Dane?
There's one part that could be a little.
Why? Because it has
There's
to
a
do with
sto-
death or something?
No, there's two part. One is a death, and then another is a little story that's a little inappropriate. that
Curse
something
words or
happened.
bleeping?
Like
or...
how inappropriate.
There was a. I'll spoil it. There was a because early in the studio's life, there was a lot of single guys at the studio, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
So when
geez.
there's an attractive lady that walks into in the tour corridor, right? You know,
Oh my god.
wearing the short shorts because it's Florida heat, they used to they used to have a code word among everyone in the building. So this code word would like start in layout because layout was the first thing that you came into the tour corridor to see,
Right.
and then it would like snake its way all the way down to editing because editing was the last room, and so everybody knew that there was an attractive female in the tour corridor, and they would all like stop what they're doing and like look up really quickly to check her out, you know.
That's pretty funny.
Um,
So it's not inappropriate. It's nothing like it's nothing
That's something you do in every workplace. Like
there was
I-
a guy that actually met his wife that way.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I won't tell that
What?
story, but there was somebody that met his wife that way.
Oh, that's so
Um,
cool. So you have all these little stories along in the documentary. What would you say the mood of the documentary is? What were you going
Oh,
for,
it's
and what did it turn out to be?
It's for sure a feel-good story that has a heartbreaking ending. Because we all know it. I mean, I'm not
They all die
spoiling the
in
thing
that
when
bombing.
Yeah, it's
It's like
Rogue
Rogue
One.
One. Oh, spoiler alert.
Well, speaking of speaking of Rogue One, it was killed by Star Wars. But I mean, it's got a, heartbreaking ending because we all know that the studio closed. and
Right, she said
everyone has
she-
to go their separate way.
By the way, she said he's 8 but not sheltered. So I'd
Oh,
say,
okay.
Yeah. Unless
but-
I'd
and
say
then
unless
there's
you're an
one-
Amish
there's
Christian
w-
family or
There's
something.
there's a part where it talks about a death.
Okay, yeah.
um,
So just life.
Yeah.
Nothing inappropriate. It's not our podcast.
I mean, we've all seen Bambi. Like,
That's
Yeah.
true.
I have
Yeah.
PTSD from
Yeah,
that. So
Yeah, other than those two, no, it's appropriate for kids. It's about a Disney animation studio. So, there was a part that I did have to cut out.
Really?
And I can say this. I just didn't feel that it felt. I didn't want to include it in the story in the animation.
Mhm.
There was somebody who got busted for smoking on stage once.
Oh, that's
in the
funny.
tour. They had,
Really?
yeah, and it was not. Let's just say it was not the cigarettes that are permitted in Disney World. It's something that's grown.
Was this an employee or a?
It was an animator, and he
Why do you
got
think the
he got
animation's
he
so
got
good?
busted for having a bag of certain something in his animation desk.
That's why they closed after they busted him. The product just went way downhill. Where do you think
Yeah.
a heffalump came from? That wasn't sober thoughts.
But I had to cut that. But yeah, that's a funny story.
Is there gonna be so it sounds like you cut a lot. Is there gonna be an extended cut for your Patreon members at all?
No,
The Dane cut.
The Dane
There
cut.
would it would have
Release
to
the Dane
be
cut.
the extended cut would be like 2.5 hours because like each
Good.
interview was at least
Do
an
it.
hour long.
Do it.
So I don't know if there would be an extended cut on Patreon.
Will you ever release the full interviews?
No. No, I don't. No, I'll keep them to myself if I feel like.
What, in your
Um,
spank bank?
No, I mean I just they were done for a documentary, so I want to keep
I get
You
that.
know,
You because you're
the
pushing
best
a
parts
narrative.
of it. in
Because
the
you're an
documentary,
artist.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you don't
yeah.
sell out.
Yeah.
I mean, I did another interview with my buddy Jerry Reset is going to be posted in its entirety. So
Meanwhile,
he's the director.
I will
of
charge people
Back to Normal.
anything to see exclusive content.
Yeah, Scott would be like $5. It's yours, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do a Dane cut Patreon tier for $50 a month, I'd probably
I
subscribe.
might release the first draft on Patreon, maybe,
That's a cool idea. Your initial
yeah, 'cause
ideas
the-
and then what it turned into.
because the first draft is an hour and 50 minutes long.
I need
It's
the peanut butter. and jelly
actually
to
an
that.
hour and hour 58 minutes long, and then I cut it way
To
down.
what? What's
from-
the final run length? Drop the final run length.
right
for us.
right now it's an hour 44.
Oh wow! So it's not.
So I
not
cut
too,
about- I
well,
cut
14's
about
a
15.
lot, but
I cut about 15 minutes off of it.
how many gigabytes is this file?
You want me to look? I mean,
If it doesn't
honestly.
crash your computer, I'm just curious. For an hour and 44-minute video that you're gonna upload to YouTube, it's probably gonna take.
the folder on my computer that holds everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
all the 2 cuts that are on it right now on Premiere. It is 39 gigabytes, 705 files,
God.
66 folders.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for this because, first of all, it's a story, like you said, that has not been told. But second of all, I'm just excited to see what you're gonna do with this. Like, I'm just, it's really fun to watch our friends create and just to be able to see you do this. I'm so excited. I'm excited for the success that you're gonna see from this too.
Yeah. I kept saying, you know, when I was working on this, that I'm excited to see it too. But now it's like, it's almost done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like I'm gonna be working on this May 24th, like an hour before I
Right.
upload it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's on its last. It's very close to completion.
Me too.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for everyone to see it too, because it's. I think it's good. All the screenings of it so far, everyone's been happy with it. So.
And you're gonna release this as a premiere on YouTube, correct? On the 24th.
Yeah, it's gonna be a YouTube premiere on the 24th at 6 p.m. probably.
What's the 24th? What day of the week is that?
And what's
It's
a
a Friday.
premiere on
it's a
YouTube?
Friday.
What's that?
You can.
So-
It's like
yeah,
it's
explain
like
that.
a live. It's like a live stream, but a pre-recorded video.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
it like counts in, and then the video starts.
So it's
what
And,
when,
then,
when
and there's a
Carlos,
chat and stuff like that. So.
when Carlos released his video, it was a premiere.
oh, cool.
Should be a little better.
Yeah,
than
so
that,
there'll
though.
be a chat and stuff like that. I'll be there.
Yeah, I like that. So people can like ask questions or comment. And you can be right there to answer, which is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Darren, I know you're really into film. Do you have any? I don't know
Yeah.
how much you are into documentaries, but I know
I
you're
love
into-
Disney documentaries.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you had any questions on your end because I know that you have an appreciation for this kind of stuff.
Come back to me. I'll
Yeah.
have a question. Sorry, I was getting movie tickets distracted. Sorry.
I know. I respect that. What
Well, okay,
movie
so-
tickets? What movie
so
tickets? What are you
I
gonna go
was
see?
I was talking to my dad about this earlier today. It's the I don't remember what year anniversary, but it's a anniversary of Phantom Menace.
Oh,
yeah, I want to go to
yeah.
that too.
Yeah, so I was just moving. My best
I
friend just
respect
texted
that.
me. I was moving
like
my tickets
that.
around, so that's why I was not
Yeah.
paying attention. So
No,
excuse me for that.
If I'm getting ignored for Star Wars, I appreciate that.
The
I wish they would re-release a better movie than Phantom Menace, but
Well,
you know.
they just did all of the re-releases for the
Spider-Man?
anniversary of the originals. So
Oh.
now we're
yeah.
in an anniversary for the prequels. So like next year
That's
we
right.
should probably get the best one, Attack of the Clones.
I did go see the re-release of Spider-Man 1. That was
Oh,
awesome.
did you?
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, they're that's how you know movie theaters are hurting.
I
Just
love
re-releasing
the
all these movies.
re-releases.
I do
Absolutely.
too.
I saw
I do
the
too.
Queen concert that they did in IMAX. That was amazing.
Well, it's
Gonna
cool
go
because
see
you get
the
to
Ghost film,
experience
that
this
was
stuff.
awesome.
If you didn't get like I saw the re-release of Return of the Jedi last year, and that's my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I love the Ewoks. It's one of my many of them are my cousins, and and next year
Well-
I'm gonna see Interstellar because I've never watched Interstellar, so I get to watch it in theater. Oh, the Ewok! Both you got the Ewok tiki mugs.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys.
I was gonna
Cheers.
say you
Yeah,
should
it's
take
really badass.
Nerds.
I'll do my
Nerds.
my I'll do my haunted mansion.
Thank you,
I'll
Rachel.
do my
Water
my
cup of
empty
wine.
Animal Kingdom glass from the 2000 celebration.
I love re-releases, especially for me, because like I'm not old like my dad, and I didn't get to see all these movies in theaters. And like when I saw Return of the Jedi last year as well, like I cried as soon as the opening crawl started.
Yeah, it's like
Just like being able to see that on a big screen. is
Really
fucking-
cool.
It's so good.
it holds up too.
If you guys
It does.
if you guys go on the fantasy and you're able to do like Star Wars Day at Sea or like on the Magic, the Disney cruise ships, like the Marvel Day at Sea, going to the Buena Vista Theater to see the movies on a
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because they show them all day, so it's really cool to be able to do that too.
Dane, I do have a question for you, and this is going to be, I know this is
Sure.
going to be a hard question for you to answer, just being like you being the creator of it. But one of my favorite Disney documentarians video essay people, Defunct Land, of course.
Mhm.
And my all-time favorite video he's ever done was the Fast Pass video, and just how informative of it, and like how
Mhm.
deep into not like company or like trade secrets and whatnot, but like just how the company developed FastPass and how it handled that. How would you compare your documentary about the animation department to his style of documentaries? Fuck, sorry.
I would say my style is actually very similar to his. I modeled this one very not modeled it, but I took it's inspired by the Halix one a lot.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of
That was a great documentary.
aspect of storytelling. I'm not good friends, but I know Matthew who was the director of that, and I talked to him and got some advice from him while making this, and I think you'll see a lot of that kind of inspiration. I think
yeah.
you see a lot of like that kind of inspiration in my videos, kind of the way I kind of put like the heartfelt segments, how I show emotion like that.
Mhm.
I think you'll see a lot of similarities that way. But yeah, I mean, I know Kevin too, and I talked to him while making this too to try to get some not feedback, but from some advice from him
Some
too.
advice,
So
yeah.
I think you'll see a lot of inspiration.
That's really cool.
It's a lot of similarities.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, Defunct Land, it's a YouTube channel. Nick, have you ever watched Defunct Land?
Mm-mm.
Really fun. Like, get high and watch Defunct Land. You'll love
Okay.
it.
I'll have to send y'all that Fast Pass video. It's probably my as a Advent theme, or like as much as I love theme parks and amusement parks, and if you know me, you know how much I love that. His Fast Pass video is just beyond anything else.
Yeah, his Fast Pass video is
I
unbelievable.
watched the first 5 minutes and I got sidetracked and never put it back on. But I did watch his. I watched the Halix one, but I watched
Which was
the
also
the
phenomenal.
Disney Channel.
The Disney Channel
theme.
one.
Oh,
I
so
remember
good.
when he was making that, and we were in Discord calls with him, and he was talking about like the process of making that. It's just unbelievable when he was going.
So
through that.
Nick,
He,
you know the
like,
Disney
hired
Channel?
Mhm.
Do 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 do.
Doo-doo.
He did a whole
And the little
documentary on who
wand.
made those 4 notes.
Hmm.
It was so
Trying to-
interesting, and it was like a
trying to
mystery.
figure out. Yeah, no one
Oh,
knew
they
who
didn't
he
know?
was. So trying to
No,
figure out.
Wow.
nobody knew, and he did crack the
Crazy.
code by the end.
Yeah.
But no spoilers. But it was like so good. 4 notes. He made a whole documentary off 4 notes. It was so interesting. So I've watched those documentaries, Dane, and I think in all documentaries there's a mix of interviews, stock footage, music. What's your documentary going to look like? Do you have a mixture of that, or is it more interview
Oh,
based?
absolutely. Yeah, there's music.
And how do you
there's a
do that
whole-
without getting?
So
Copyright
I didn't hire. Well, I hired somebody for the end credits, the piano version of
Oh.
Reflection that you hear during the end credits. I did hire somebody for that.
That's cool.
But other than that, it is not 100% original
Dane,
music. that I
you're
use.
13 years old. Are you independently wealthy?
Right.
Piano player and-
Yes, I am. I am. Yeah, over $1 in my bank account. So,
Meanwhile, Scott's over at Hollywood Studios getting a
yeah,
quarter.
dropping $250 on the most mid merch drop I've
I
ever
did
seen.
not. I did not drop $250 on.
Yeah,
233.
yes. I'm sorry. 230. That's my
Rachel.
bad.
Trust me, I'm the one who swiped the card.
the most
Or
mid merch.
scan the magic band.
It is
Um,
very mid merch.
But the music is very Hollywood Studios influenced. It's all like big band, like kind of
Okay,
stuff.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
1940s big band. So it's not 100% original music, but I did buy the rights to all the songs that you hear. So I there's a website that you can go onto and you
Oh.
can buy
That's
copyright
cool.
rights to individual songs. So I bought just like a list of like 20 songs.
That's really cool.
Huh,
Use that like,
that's cool.
and then I geared it towards like when they, of course, when you like the happy moments are more upbeat, obviously, and the sad moments, you know, are slow and obviously. But yeah, so
That's cool.
That's
So it's a
that
really
kind of stuff. And then-
professional production. It sounds like.
yeah, and then for the B-roll. For the B-roll, honestly, let me go into my. I can go into my computer and look.
How much did this cost you to make, Dane?
That's a great question.
I mean, I haven't
done
done the calculations, but
That's like me when someone asks me how much I have spent on TikTok. I'm like, I don't know.
I even done the calculations actually. Do you know
Something else to
ballpark?
show.
probably like. God, probably like $200-$300.
Oh,
Like that. I
okay.
mean, it's
Yeah,
low
so that's not
budget.
bad.
I mean, you know, it's not like I had to pay for like airfare to go actually interview these people.
Right, right.
It was all done on Zoom, so the cost of the Zoom subscription, which is like $100, and then trying to buy all the music and stuff like that, and then I had to clear the. I actually had to pay for the footage, which was not
Really?
very fun, but yeah.
Where do
so-
you buy footage? Is some
I'll
guy
tell
that's
you
like
after.
someone on the corner, like on a
I'll t-
corner selling like.
I'll tell you after. So there is 3 gigabytes of B-roll on my computer of all the B-roll and
Right.
footage that I have, and probably, I mean, obviously probably hours worth of footage that I have that I had to go through. I don't know how many hours that is, but hours, many.
So
Many
interesting.
hours.
So I'm gonna wrap up my questions with one last question before you do your final plug and whatever else you want to promote about this. But what was the most difficult part of the creation of this project?
Getting it started.
Yeah, that's an
Easily
interesting
getting it
answer.
started. Because the inspiration did come from the book. I bought the book in March of 2023, like I said, and then from that point up until November, trying to get this thing first what I wanted it to be,
Right.
and then second, finally reaching out to these people trying to get that started. Because from that point, working a year on this thing,
Mhm.
from that point in between getting actually started on the interviews, it was very hard to piece together research because the book does a good job of it, but the book is a lot of technology based and not so much on the story of the
Right.
studio 100%, like 100% on the studio. So trying to like piece it together from that, and then the very, very, very small information there is on the internet, because there's a website that has hours of footage that I mainly got from this website. That's where I got the footage from the website of the actual studio.
Right.
So just watching all of that and then trying to piece together what is happening.
It's interesting.
So doing that research and then being like, okay, this thing that I wanted to do with with these other topics that I want to do for a big video isn't working out, and then doing the character fight video. I did the character fight video, and that guy, like he talked about, wanted to be an animator in that building. I was like, okay. And then he was like, I actually did, like, he was telling me about the little bit of the studio, and then I went back to that website, and I was like, this can be a story here. And because I saw these people having fun, I saw these people obviously being a very tight family together, and I was like,
yeah.
if I do interviews with a lot of people, piece together those interviews of these people explaining what this studio is, because there's nothing like that, there could easily be a story here. So I reached out to Max Howard, did that interview, and then I was like, this is getting greenlit. Like, there's something here. So then the next interview I think I did was, it was after Christmas. I think the next one I did was Mary Kay, who was the next
Oh,
studio
we don't say that
executive
name.
after.
Yeah, just call her
Yeah.
Keg.
Yeah, Kay. No,
redacted
it was
Kay.
Mary Kay Hazley, who was the studio executive after
Uh-huh.
Max Howard left.
Call her
So I
Avon
did the
Keg.
interview with her, and then she was she's fantastic. She's a very nice person. She was the one that got other people involved with it too, and then it just snowballed from there. Because then I got Bob Weiss, who I sent the email to Bob Weiss to get him involved. I sent the pitch email, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, I'm losing nothing. If he says
Sure.
yes, great. If he doesn't, whatever.
Who cares?
So I'm like, I just send this email. Sent an email. 2 hours after I sent the thing, he says he wants to be a part of it.
Amazing.
That's
So
awesome.
then I do the interview with him, and then it takes off from there.
That is
Because
awesome.
I use LinkedIn, and to try to get in contact with these people, I used a lot of emails. Trying to get the
Sure,
email
yeah.
contacts of a lot of these people. So yeah, reaching out to the people was very hard in the beginning, but then it just snowballed from there. Because then it was like, I also heard that there was a lot of attempts to do a documentary about this thing before.
Wow.
And they were just looking for someone to basically take the reins and actually make it happen, and I was that person.
That's awesome.
Hell
wow.
yeah.
So,
Well, we're all really, really excited to watch this. That's coming out May
Yeah, I can't wait.
24th. For anybody
May
watching this
24th.
video on the YouTube channel Big Beautiful Diz. Now, before you do your final promotion, I did say that was my last question, but I do have one final question, Dane.
I also
if-
have another question.
If a mine's quick, Darren. If
I'm
your
here till
sig-
Thursday. So
if your significant other perished by a supervillain, which MCU
Okay.
character would catch your eye? No, I'm just kidding. So, Darren, go ahead. Ask your question. That's a
I thought you were
gonna
gonna say which animator would get your face.
No, I was gonna go that far.
I'm not
No, I
answering
wasn't gonna go that
that.
far. Go ahead, Darren.
All right, Dane.
Which animated character made in the studio would you get to replace her? That's an
That's-
easy. That's an easy question.
That's the
It's an
person
easy
from Atlantis.
question. Yeah,
That-
no. That's an easy question that I will tell you off air because she's listening right now, and I am not going to answer that.
So my
Nani
question
from Lilo and Stitch.
So my question's inspired by Chris. Who do you think is the smelliest editor or animator?
Good question.
Who is the
Really good
smelliest
question.
That was
actor
good,
that you
Chris. That
ever-
was good.
That was Darren.
Who,
That was
who
cool.
do I
Darren.
think is
That was your son, Darren.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I probably can't answer that either because I don't want anybody to get mad at me.
That's what everybody says. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll cut this out.
We always do.
I'm probably the one person that declined to be on it.
Yeah.
That's a great answer, actually.
You know, because
That's a great answer.
everybody that I reached out to said yes, absolutely, literally. That's not actually something I talked about. There was not a single person that said no to being on this.
Except for the smelly one.
There was not a single person who declined to be on it. There was a few people that couldn't make it work for their schedules, and I understand.
Which way
They
did
were
they
literally
want to do it?
they're making a feature film.
Oh.
Like
That makes
they
sense.
couldn't, like,
That's
yeah.
pretty fair.
Yeah, like
Back
they're
of the
the
barnyard.
head of.
Too.
First, there was one person who was the head of the studio, making a feature film, and then there was a couple other people who currently work for that company who were making.
Yeah, I
the
guess
feature
that's a
film.
good excuse.
Scheduling. I couldn't. I understand it. There was one person who declined to be on it. You know who you are.
Stinky.
Can smell them from here. Well,
They're probably not listening to this because they are like
'Cause they
hiding
have a
Well,
away.
life.
they're probably not a Patreon.
Yeah. Well, exactly. This
Dane-
gets released publicly.
yeah, it will get.
They like
released
they like hide away, dude. It's weird. They're like, I was talking to somebody about them. They like are nowhere to be found anymore. I was surprised they even responded.
Yeah, no, a
instead
lot
of-
of them just did Shrek there and then they stopped. So, Dane, thanks so much for coming on tonight.
I'm gonna go leave a Apple review and be like, "Hey, the Shrek was not made. This is podcast. You should know a lot more about the movies that they're talking about."
Dave, appreciate you taking out the time and coming on here tonight. Now, anybody
problem.
who's watching this right now, is interested in watching your documentary at the end of the month, Please tell them when, where, and why they should. Nah, you don't say why. You already said why. Just say when and where.
The premiere is on May 24th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch. Of course, it's archived, so you can watch it any other time. It's completely free on YouTube. Maybe even free on some streaming services. YouTube.com/.
Did you just drop a nuclear bomb on the No New Friends After Dark?
I did. But
Wow.
YouTube.com/Big Beautiful Diz is where it's free on YouTube. So May 24th, check it out.
Sweet.
Yeah. Before I ask Scott if he has any summaries, I do want everybody to know that this will be my daughter's first movie.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this will be. We will
Oh my
watch this
God.
together. I will
Wow.
probably not be
Sweet.
able to stay awake. It might take me 3 weeks to watch because of my sleep deprivation. But this will be my.
I recommend
daughter's
you
first
watch it
video.
first and then have her watch it because I feel like you'll be constantly getting up to probably have to change a diaper. It's
probably a good tip.
An hour and
probably a
hour and
good tip.
44-minute long. You know,
Emily
it's-
changes the diapers, Dave.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he's not changing any diapers.
Nah, don't do that. Not enough gloves in the world. Scott, do you have any summaries for us?
I do.
How'd you make summaries out of that? Okay.
So,
Ryan
scared.
works in mysterious ways.
He knows.
Dane
people.
mentioned today that Dane mentioned that today was the 35-year anniversary of Hollywood Studios, which means I've been obsessing over Indiana Jones stuntmen for 35 years. God damn, that's a lot of lotion. Glad we could get Dane on tonight. He did have a lot of demands, though, mostly juice boxes and sour gummy worms.
That's true. The cup is empty, Scott. So I need
Dane was Dane was going to do a documentary on the monorail crash. I'm really glad that he didn't. It would have been way too difficult to write jokes about it for summaries.
Remy would.
That's just a fact of life. It's just a fact.
When I do an interview with Remy, he would do summaries on it.
Yep.
He would put audio of it. Actually.
Listen, Dane,
fucking
I'm
911 call.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of Dane. It feels really good to have a young man in my life that I could be so proud of.
Chris and I are right here.
Do I feel like
That's why I
a
was
son to you,
laughing
Scott?
when Ryan sent me that one, and I was like, "Oh, that one's funny."
Would you say,
Do I feel,
Scott?
do I feel
Scott,
like the son you never had?
Scott, would you say you're a proud boy?
Yeah. You may say that after one of these jokes towards the end.
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
Chris said that Dane wanted to do a documentary on something that was untouched. Other things that Dane could have done a documentary on: any salad in Chris's fridge, candy wrappers in Chris's room, and my penis.
I thought you were going to say the sophisticated gentleman.
Hey. Oh God. 2026. Scott Maffei, the man, the myth, the legend. The story. The story
memorial.
of Scott
The
Maffei.
memorial documentary.
Chris asked Dane if he walked away from any interview saying, "God, that sucked." Chris, we'll have to talk after this interview. Darren said I couldn't remember Bob Weiss's name last week. Darren, to be fair, I forgot your name until you were 20 years old. Dane said that the animators had code words for hot women. First of all, here on the No New Friends podcast, we do not objectify or exploit women. But they did also have a code word to let the hot dog vendor at the exit know I was coming. This one's funny because both Ryan and I wrote a very similar joke at the exact same time. Darren's booking movie tickets. Normally when an NNF host gets bored of a segment, they just get up and walk away. And typically it turns out to be their last episode. That was Ryan's. Mine was Darren got distracted and stopped paying attention to the interview with Dane. Next thing you know, he's going to start leaving the room during a segment, commenting about Lewis's penis on air, and start calling the ER the ED.
Wow.
I do already call it the ED.
No room left for imagination there.
That's true.
Also, peeling back the curtain real quick, I have to hold my stand because things and reasons. I laughed so hard I pulled it out of the socket.
That's funny.
So I'm holding it for the rest of the night.
That's funny.
What did I miss? I got bored there. So.
Yeah.
Darren said he loves re-releases. Darren, I'd be happy if I could just release once.
Darren was actually a pre-release, wasn't
Well,
he?
you
Scott?
did at least
Darren
once.
was a
We have the
pre-release,
evidence here.
And finally, this is the one. Dane buys the rights to music he used. I haven't been able to buy what I've wanted since we gave them rights.
Oh my god, I don't think you can.
I don't think you can post this anymore.
Well,
Oh,
there'll be about
God.
6 seconds cut out.
You're gonna have to cut. You're
Just
actually gonna have to
leave it.
cut that.
Oh my god.
Oh jeez.
I'm talking about music.
is now-
Since
this
we
is
gave
now
music
like a-
rights.
Oh
talking
my
about
god,
Taylor's
this is now
version.
like a,
You're talking about Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, yeah.
this was a 52-minute long interview. This is now a 51-minute long. Oh god.
Wow.
It's Josh Robert in the chat.
I saw it.
Wow. Well, thank you guys for
Okay.
listening to the last ever episode of Heavy Friends After Dark. No, seriously, everybody watching, thank you guys so much for watching. You're not gonna, well, no, you'll be able to hear this. YouTube won't, because this will be cut from the episode. No, we can
Is
just,
all of this good? Is this still going to be cut from the episode?
No.
no. Just the
Oh, okay.
just Scott's joke will be cut from the episode.
Okay, because
That's
I was
not
gonna,
gonna
I was
get
gonna
cut.
say
Why is that
something. I
gonna
was gonna
get
say,
cut?
make sure.
What do you mean? Why is that gonna be cut?
You
You want to be okay?
Do we have to explain it?
We're not cutting that. It's funny.
Oh my God.
No, Chris, please cut that. Actually, cut that.
He's like
I
a
don't
Jewish
care.
doctor, Darren.
He's still under the influence. You need to cut that.
Ever,
I am. I'm still.
yeah, no, it was a hilarious joke that we will be cutting just because this
It's
is
Very funny.
attached to Dane. Because
Yeah,
if
that's
this was-
Because
exactly
Zane's not
what
of age. He's not of age yet.
Yeah, if this was not attached to Dane, if he wasn't promoting
This
his
is exactly why I want it to be cut.
wholesome documentary, I would keep it in.
Oh my
I
God.
usually keep it in, Dane, but so now I gotta cut that.
Scott knows a lot about keeping it
No, I don't. Oh yeah, I do.
in. We have the evidence here.
All right,
Hell
guys.
for love.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
I'm glad you let me come on and absolutely tank your viewership. I mean, we have 9 people watching right now. Thanks.
Hey, it's
No,
better
this,
than last
no,
week.
this is a private stream. That's good.
Oh yeah, that's your. I keep forgetting this is Patreon only.
Yeah, that's like all of our Patreon members.
Because I was afraid that Scott was gonna get mad because usually when it dips below at least 100 on the TikTok streams, then he starts to.
Oh, I was so mad today.
Yeah,
about-
Scott, you have to calm down with the talking about the viewership every 5 minutes, because like people watch and are like, oh, well, fuck me, like. Scott, like,
Also, I got-
Scott tries to talk low. He's like, this fucking thing. Down 20 people.
He's like coming up to my ear. He's like, I fucking hate all these fuckers.
Also,
TikTok.
I
I'm like-
got really confused when you
I'm like,
were
maybe we
which
should just switch to
showtime you were
YouTube.
going to for indie today. I didn't know if it was the 1:15 one. You weren't really clear when you were. You were in the arena. You were in the amphitheater, and you were still saying that you were going to the it's 1 o'clock. Like let's
was-
round up. We can make some assumptions.
hammered. I was hammered
He was
today.
gone.
You were
Oh,
bad.
I know. By then you were. Yeah, you were.
Yeah, you're like
You were
at
not
you're
in
at,
Florida.
you're at Oga's. You're like, oh yeah. You were staring at the camera doing the TK. That's why I took the screenshot. You're staring at the camera. You're like,
Your
Just
body,
staring
your
at
body
it?
was in Hollywood Studios being raw. You were back in opening day in 1989.
Yeah, I
mentally.
was.
and
You-
and
was
Melissa,
rough.
You
Melissa,
were wondering where the animations tour was.
her name's Melissa, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like super drunk at Oga's. She's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna get going. I know it's just a coincidence, but it was just so funny because you're like standing there at the tiki mug. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna get going.
Did you guys, when you guys were at Trader Sam's, did Aoa come alive? I didn't. I
No,
wasn't
there was
watching for
there was one Oa, but he
Oh.
didn't really. My dad was already like, he was like, "Oh, this place fucking sucks."
Fuck, man. Oh, it's so cool. You gotta go. That place is awesome.
You gotta make him come. All right, guys. Thank you guys so
What?
much for Moa.
Oa.
You gotta make her what?
Gotta make him come.
Her,
YouTube, thank you
her,
so much
her.
for watching us as always.
That's why nothing happened when Scott was there. Then.
Hey, you're not the host. He can end this whenever he wants.
Yeah, I'll end it all, Scott. I'll end
I
this
don't
whole
think we can say
thing.
that either.
I'll end this whole
You're
thing.
gonna have to cut that.
Yeah.
I meant the Dirty Friends After Dark. Scott ended it the first time. I'm gonna end it.
Please
the second
don't.
time. No, I won't. Oh, Michael X says don't cut it. No, we're gonna cut it. All right, love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed what you watched, if you enjoyed our company, fucking, I'm so bad at outros. Just come back again.
You want me to do it? You want the guests to do
And
it?
bring a friend.
Bring a friend. Take us on out, Dane.
All right. If anybody
Okay,
would like
bye.
to fill in next week, please reach out to either Chris or Scott. Remy, I'm talking to you, my man. If you want to fill in for us next week.
All right. So on that note, everybody have a great night. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Happy belated birthday to your belated grandfather.
Who?
Happy birthday, Hollywood Studios.